He is a pulmonologist and critical care physician by training, and his work at Harvard Medical School focuses on the intersection of medical education and innovative technologies to enhance learning. As the inaugural Dean of External Education at Harvard Medical School, he and his team have developed new programs for learners at all levels. He is leading the design of a new and inspiring future for medical education at Harvard Medical School and around the globe. Delegates, please give a huge hero's welcome to Dr. David Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. Wow, this is amazing. Hello. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'm excited to see everyone. And it's really my pleasure to spend a few minutes with you today talking about one experience, mine, my story, how did I get here, and what kind of lessons, what kind of ideas can I give you in your preparation for the future. So we're going to start like any good medical talk, we're going to start with a case. So I want to hear from you. Some of you already know what this is. And I don't want you to shout out. I want you to shout out the craziest thing you could imagine this could be. Whoa! All right, I heard snake bites, octopus, squid. You guys are focused on cephalopods. I like that. All right, come on, one more. Shout louder. I love it. Awesome. All right. So for those of you who know what this is cupping or fire cupping, right? Congratulations, you just made your first correct diagnosis. I love it. Now, the real tough question, we'll come back to at the end. Why did this person have it, and what's the clue on the picture here? Anybody know? The rings of the cup. Yes, no, I agree. But that's not, why did this person have it? What's wrong with this person? What medical condition do they have? Don't know. All right, that's okay. This person's scapula is pointed out in a funny way. That's called scapular winging, which is either a muscle or a nerve problem. And so this person's got back pain, and that's why they're doing it. And I just wanted to start with a funny picture and say, rule number one, stay curious. Come up with solutions in your mind. You got to have grit to keep going when things get tough, because the road that you're starting on is a tough one, all right? You got to seize opportunity. We're going to talk about that. You got to do what you love. And then lastly, I'm going to tell you, I want you all to do something really, really big, all right? So, how did I get here today? I would say the answer is grit. This is where I work today. That's Harvard Medical School. I was born here in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. How many people are here from Oak Ridge? All right, there we go. I like those people. So Oak Ridge looks like this in the middle of the Smoky Mountains, middle of absolute nowhere. I was there because my dad worked at one of the big national labs there, and my mom helped start Sesame Street. That's me. You could say I was an early adopter. I like technology, and I like to think about how we might learn better. When I was about 10, we moved to Washington, D.C., and I got to take advantage of being in a big city. I learned to hunt and fish when I was a little kid, and then I got to go to the Smithsonian and things like this. Got interested in science, and I ended up working at the Lawrence Livermore National Lab out in California. Then I went to Cornell for undergrad and got interested in medicine and went to work at the Mayo Clinic. There I was starting to do some stuff with dog surgery, and I ended up writing some papers and getting interested in sort of the academic side of medicine. And then I came to Harvard Medical School as a student, and I've been in Boston ever since. I took one quick jaunt out to go work out in California at Genentech. There you go. And then did all my training at Mass General Hospital, where I became an internal medicine doctor and a pulmonary and critical care physician. Now, I work at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston, an amazing place, and we often say that a curriculum is the tangible expression of the soul of an institution. And what you've experienced here over these 3 days is really the soul of this program. The curriculum is meant to really have you learn and grow and be challenged. And places like Beth Israel Deaconess are really special in this way. There's a there's a mindset there, and it's always question, always try to make it better. Now, this is a slightly painful picture of me and my dad many years ago on a tandem bike. I'm wearing these things called tube socks, which no one wears anymore. I've got like shoes that have Velcro. I am like going full dork, right? So this thing, we used to ride along on this, and my dad would give me kind of lessons in life. And he described there were 3 kinds of opportunities. 1, opportunities that are offered to you. So somebody comes and says, you should do this program. And those are kind of the easy ones, where it's pretty obvious. How many people have had an example of that where a teacher or a parent or somebody says, you should do this, right? I see almost everybody. The second one is the kinds that are recognized by you. So you figured out that there was this great 3-day program where you could learn a ton, and you said, I want to do that, right? That's recognizing that there's an opportunity or something you could apply for, something you do. And then the more complicated ones are those that you actually create. Those are the ones where you say, you know what, I have an idea. I could go crowdfund some money to do this. I could think about a way to connect things that aren't obviously connected by other people. That's where the interesting stuff comes. That's where it really gets exciting. So my story is a little complicated, right? So I had done all these fun things. I'd learned all this great stuff, and I was kind of swimming along just fine, right? It says, I'm fine, all's well. And there are moments in your life where you realize that maybe things aren't quite the way they seem, right? And for me, that came when I was standing up on a stage not too dissimilar to this, and my spleen ruptured spontaneously. That is not a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a good thing. So I had very advanced stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I spent the next 7 months of my life figuring out how to survive. And one of the things that I have learned is this idea. You play the hand you're dealt. You make the most of what you have, whether they're good things, bad things, and you've got to figure out a way to turn that to your advantage. So I got a bunch of lemons. I made a lot of lemonade, right? So I am extremely lucky, right? So as a physician, to get a life-threatening illness and then get better is quite eye-opening, right? One of the things that happened was my colleagues, many of whom had seen hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of patients, would ask me these kinds of questions. What's it like to be a patient, right? Imagine a doctor asking me that as if I have some special knowledge. What's it like to be one of them? What's it like to be on the other side? I said, well, the other side of what, right? And then the question that only doctors asked, what do you do in all that free time, right? As if feeling lousy for 16 hours a day and sleeping the rest of the 8 hours is like a break from being a doctor, right? So that's free time. So, and then this question of what do you do differently now? So one thing I do, I spend a lot of time as a doctor thinking about how we can do things better, how we can teach better, how we can take care of patients better, and asking myself, what is this big important thing that I should be doing? And that's where it gets a little challenging. Every person, every single one of you is going to go through some sort of hard time. God forbid, hopefully none of you guys ever get sick or anything like that. But there are going to be times when you really want to do something and you get rejected from it, or you don't get into this or that, or somebody tells you something and it's hard to hear. And you have to just have the strength of character to overcome that. And all of your parents who are sitting here today, they know what I'm talking about. There are hard knocks along your road to success. And you will get there if you hold on to that and you remain really firmly focused on what you want. So let me ask you a question. I want you all to picture in your mind a watermelon. Now your parietal lobe starts firing, you sort of have occipital lobe activity, you're sort of thinking about what it looks like. Give me one description. What's that watermelon look like in your mind? You heard, sir, right here on the front. It looks big. All right. What else? Yes, ma'am, right here. What does it look like? Yeah, you. It's green. All right. What shape is it? Oval. All right. I would be willing to bet that most of you thought about that. It's this big green thing. It's kind of oval or ovoid, and it's got stripes, and it's got red fruit on the inside. Is that thing a watermelon? Yeah? Come on. This thing is not shaped like a watermelon. Is that real or not real? It's a pumpkin, he says. Now that does not look like a pumpkin to me. I don't know what happens in Halloween in your neighborhood, but that is not like... All right. That is, in fact, a watermelon. Why in the world would you want to grow a watermelon in a glass box? Right, it stacks better, it fits in your refrigerator better, it's more efficient. And if you have small refrigerators, you want a small watermelon, right? And it's cool to have a square watermelon. My point here is that you should never, ever stop challenging assumptions that things have to be a certain way. Somebody says to you, there's a certain path to success. You should always take a step back and say, maybe I can do it differently. Maybe I can do it my own way, or maybe I can make a difference in some special way that's connected to me. So one of the rules is you got to do what you love. So when I started to get better from being sick, one of the things that I did was I got back on my bike. I happen to love bike riding. And so I ride every year in support of Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, where I get my care. And this is me at about a mile, about 187 out of a 200-mile bike ride that I do. And it's really important to figure out what you love and then do it. All right? That is kind of key. And so what are the things that it takes? It takes all these things. It takes energy and enthusiasm. And each of you guys, you got bright eyes and bushy tails, and you can do this, right? It takes teamwork. It takes persistence and creativity that you're going to just not stop. And a lot of curiosity. What's the root of the word curiosity? What does it mean? Anybody? To wonder. I like that. No. Cura, to care. All right? In order to care for people, you got to be curious as a doctor. And that's one of the most important things there are. And there are times, right, where we all feel like we're not the person sitting next to you, right? Right? It took a number of you guys a little bit to figure this one out, but that's the way this works. We all feel like we're the one person that shouldn't be in the picture. But don't let that hold you back in any way. So I said to you, I want you to do something really big. So for me, when I went to medical school, the first thing I had to do was I had to memorize a lot of stuff. And anybody know what a telephone book is? Right? Nobody uses telephone books anymore. But a telephone book, like for me, my experience of medical school was kind of two things. One, here's this telephone book of names and numbers, go memorize it. 14 causes of this, the 23 causes of that. And I don't know, that's a hard way to learn. The other thing that I experienced was this sense of it was like drinking from a fire hose. There's just so much information. And one of the things that I wanted to do was think about how we could change medical education for the better. So that when all of y'all go get into medical school and you're going to be doctors, you're going to learn in a really cool, fun way with material that's going to stick with you because it's so conceptually based and it actually makes sense to you. So my big thing was, can we actually change medical education? It turns out medical education in this country, I'll just give you a couple dates. So I'm at Harvard. I'll use Harvard as an example. Harvard was founded in 1636. it was 150 years before they had a medical school, because in that 150 years, there wasn't really that much to do for people from a healing perspective, okay? But in 1782, they started a medical school. And medical school was basically the same until this guy, Abraham Flexner, in 1910, wrote a report and said, gosh, we should really standardize this. You should do 2 years of basic science, and then you should do 2 years of clinical training. So the amazing thing is then from 1910 till basically today, medical school has been really, for the most part, been about the same. We now have fewer lectures. There's more information, more data, more technology. You got to work in teams. That's all good. But medical school has really not changed that much. And so one of the things we wanted to do is really change things. So we created something called HMX. And this is the point where I'm going to ask you to take out your phones, because I'm about to show you something that is going to be important, because I want you to take a picture of something in about 2 minutes here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a 1-minute movie about this. And I will tell you that this is a totally different way to learn. This is really beautiful content, no lectures, no PowerPoint slides. It's all stories, clinical stories, real doctors, real patients, unscripted, and then we've got these amazing animations and whiteboards. So I'm going to ask them to roll the video. That is our HMX content, and one of the cool things, we now have 4 courses. We have, this is our main website, so if you just search Harvard HMX, you will get to this main website. You can get your own, that middle green button there says free trial. You get a lesson from each of the 4 courses: immunology, physiology, biochemistry, and genetics. They are really, really fun. Works on every device: your phone, your iPad, your computer. You can do it, on the subway ride. You can do it wherever. You get, you do actually have to apply for this, like the rest of Harvard. We make that a little bit of a challenge to get in. You actually do have to apply. You have to take tests. You have to pass the course in order to get the certificate of achievement. And we'd love to have you do it. And in fact, this Catherine Brewster is one of your colleagues who did this last year and wrote about it and loved it. And so we have, in conjunction with this program, put together a coupon for you. So if you use this code when you register, it will bypass the application fee and give you a discount on the course. So thank you for doing that. I think it's really an incredible learning experience. All right. I'm going to make a prediction. You guys are going to do incredible things. Truly incredible things. Medical school and success in medical school is about preparation. That's why we built this HMX content, because we wanted everybody to walk into medical school with a really high level of preparation. And we wanted to do it in an innovative, engaging, exciting way. Do I know specifically what each and every one of you is going to do? Absolutely not. But I know for sure you guys are the future of medical science, medical technology, and I am going to rely on you to figure it out, because you guys are going to be taking care of me someday. So with that, I'm just going to end and say thank you. It has truly been a pleasure. I will look forward to seeing every one of you. Hopefully we can take a picture. One sec.